Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. And I feel like welcoming myself back because I've had a busy few days. So 2 or 3 of the last videos featuring myself have been somewhat pre-recorded, but today I have so much to catch up on. So let's start with the fact that the channel reached 600,000 subscribers. It's just a ridiculous number. I mean, Simon has said the way he's expressed himself very much serves for me as well. I cannot believe that at some point in their time, 600,000 people have pressed the subscribe button. Thank you so much to every last one of them. It is an honor and a privilege to bring you Sudoku every day, and we will keep doing it for as long as we can, although with the various busyness going on, I do sometimes wonder how long that will be. But it is a pleasure to Simon and myself to each record a video every day and bring it to you. And the puzzles that we've been sent have just been astonishing. Now, the main celebration for us for the 600,000 pack is, for the 600,000 landmark, is that we have released a pack of free puzzles it's on Patreon, but you don't have to join our Patreon to access it. You just have to go to the Patreon site and you can get the CTC 600,000K pack. And there are a number of puzzles in it. I think it's 7. There may be an 8th to join them at some point. We're just trying to deal with something on that. So there is a possibility of a further puzzle, so feel free to update in a day or two. But it's a fantastic pack. Some of the greatest names in Sudoku have contributed to it. I should, of course, have made a list that mentions Fistamafel and Codec and others and read it out. I haven't done that. But I do want to recommend the pack to you. It's fabulous. Now, what else is going on the channel, first of all? Well, loads. Simon did his Friday crossword masterclass, of course, but today he's released another crossword on the channel. And I will get to that in a moment. It's a very interesting puzzle for British cryptic solvers. Very unusual in a way. And that arises from a topic that became very current suddenly in the British crossword world. So I got called last week by a Guardian journalist who was putting together an article on whether crosswords in Britain need to update themselves in terms of their vocabulary and references to appeal to a younger audience. If I'm honest, it's not a new idea, but on the other hand, it's received a lot more currency because crosswords in America are on a path very much where there are a lot of younger editors trying to bring in, I don't know, Gen Z or Gen Alpha people and get crosswords kind of rebooted there. So Rachel from The Guardian was investigating whether that was good to go here as well. And then that story got followed up. So I'll give you a link in the description field to that article. That story got followed up on, I think it was the PM program on Radio 4, which is quite an important source for current affairs, and then it got followed up in the Times as well. The Times went a step further, published a puzzle featuring more modern references, and Simon has solved that today. So that is on the channel now. Very interesting watch it is too. So that's on the channel. We've got the 600K pack. What else is going on? I tell you what, I went to our PO box and anonymously, we have been sent a copy of Sandra Boynton's wonderful book, Hippos Go Berserk. Now, I know this book very well. I basically pretty much learnt it by heart by reading it to my children. And it could be from Glum Hippo, because the hippos look a bit like our Glum Hippo, aka Philip Bloomer. I think Simon's done a puzzle by Philip today even. That's fantastic timing. Now, I don't know that it's from Philip. Philip's used our PO box before, so it might be from him. However, also, the book, weirdly, effectively reveals the secret, because the punchline of the book is that the one hippo, it runs through one hippo doing one thing, 2 hippos doing something else, all the way up to 9 9 hippos. And then all the hippos have a party together, and then they fold away 9, then 8, then 7 of them. And one hippo alone once more misses the other 44. And you will see that that effectively reveals the secret that we sometimes share with you. So it could have been from any fan of the channel who's noticed that, or it could have been from Blobs, because tomorrow is Blobs' 60th, that's incredible, 60th birthday. Blobs supplied our incredible Patreon Sudoku hunt for this month, the Lord of the Rings. It was magnificent. The entry period is over, but the hunt is still there for anyone who joins us on Patreon as even a $2 a month member. It is absolutely quality stuff. You'll get an impression of Blobs' skills by the puzzle that he's sent us today for his 60th birthday. And we very heartily wish him a very happy birthday tomorrow. So it might have been sent because this puzzle is called Hippo Birdie. Now, if you look at the thumbnail for this video, you will see that featured on the image, which Blobs sent us, are a hippo, birdie, and 2 U's, because it's a kind of hippo, birdie, 2 U's birthday card, i.e. happy birthday to you. And we very much wish Blobs hippo, birdie, 2 U's. So that is going on. Now, what else is going on? There's more, because for viewers in the UK or people with VPNs, my next appearance on Countdown is imminent. That is coming up on Tuesday at 2:10 our time on Channel 4. If you're on a VPN, you could go to the All 4 website and see it there. So this is as a result of my earlier appearances on Countdown. It turned out that in the series there were 8 Octo Champs exactly. Obviously an Octo Champ is someone who's won 8 programs in a row. You then get retired and you come back at the end of the series where the 8 best participants get to compete in a playoff featuring 8 people. And this time they're all 8 Octo Champs. Colin Murray's slogan for the occasion is that every day an O must go, an Octo Champ must depart, and one will be knocked out. And eventually one of those 8 Octo Champs Friday this coming week will be crowned champion. Mine is the last of 4 quarterfinals. On Tuesday they've already begun. So that is coming up as well. So in addition to all the stuff going on in my life, there's a lot going on in the puzzle life, what with the Guardian interview, what with Countdown, and all of these puzzles that we keep bringing you. So it's an absolute pleasure to do that. Right, now, happy birthday, Blobs. Let's go through the rules of Blobs' puzzle. They are normal Sudoku rules that apply. So 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Along a green line, adjacent digits differ by at least 5. So these digits could be 1 and 6 or 1 and 8, but not 3 and 7. And then the circles are kind of balloons celebrating the party, and a digit in a circle indicates the number of circles containing that digit. So we have the circles rule, we have the German whispers rule, and that's it. Just normal Sudoku rules apart from that. No. I didn't mention the most important rule because I claimed that normal Sudoku rules apply and I was wrong. We're not putting 1 to 9 in every row, column, or box. We're putting 0 to 8 in. There is already a given 0, which is kind of a clue to that. We're putting 0 to 8 in every row, column, and box. So it is virtually the same, but that is going to affect, obviously, the German whispers things, obviously, to some extent, the circles rule. And it allows Blobs to have 60 as his given digits, which is, I think, the whole point of that. I'm not sure, maybe there's something more to it, but do give it a try on the link under the video. I'm sure if you were going to do that without watching the video, you'd have gone there straight away and read the rules on the app. Now, I'm going to restart the puzzle, finally, after one of my longest intros ever, and say, let's get cracking. Right, the first thing to do is to refresh in our mind what happens on German whisper lines and how that's going to be affected by using 0 to 8 rather than 1 to 9. And the first thing I normally say is that 5 can't go on one of these lines, but of course 5 could go next to 0 this time, because there's a difference of 5 there. Now, for that's going to mean that 4 is the number now that cannot go on any of these lines. There's no 9 available for 4 to go next to. So we just shift our thinking down a digit. We have 4, which can't go on any of the lines. Then we have digits below 4, the low digits, which include 0. Digits above 4, 5 to 8, they're the high digits. And high digits and low digits must alternate along these lines. And it will be quite difficult to place the numbers 3 and 5 because they only have one possible neighbour. That's how it's got to work. So first of all, I'm going to colour the alternation of low digits on this line, blue, and then the high digits can be orange. And on this line, we have a high digit marked, so I'm going to alternate those high digits. They're orange, the other digits are blue. I think I've got that right. And there we go. We know the positions of some low and high digits. Now, 3 and 5 are the tricky ones. They can never go in positions where their two neighbours will see each other, because 3's only possible neighbour is 8. Okay, well, we'll mark that when we get there. Let's actually use 6 as a bit of a guide point here. 6's only possible neighbours are 0 and 1. Well, this can't be a 0 because of Sudoku and the one other given digit we have. So we can place the 0 and 1 in column 5. That means this low digit is 2 or 3, touching a 7 or 8 on the line. This low digit can't be 3 because its two neighbours see each other, so that's a 2. And that is touching 7 and 8. And we do get a bit of a start here. Now, this is a high digit, but it could be 5 or 6. That does mean that this one is 0 or 1. I hope I'm doing my translation from the normal 1 to 9 correctly so far. Now, I was interested to see when we when we coloured the digits, when we coloured the green lines, that we ended up with the only 3 circles that appear on the green lines are actually high digits. And that's quite surprising because these digits are at least 5. They're 5, 6, 7 or 8. And we have a limited number of circles in the puzzle. I haven't counted them yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 14 circles in the puzzle. So the digits that appear in them will also add up to 14, because what the rule means is that the number of circles containing a digit effectively means that there are that many circles with that digit in. So if 6 was one of the circles, actually those 3 might all be 6 then. But the point is that if you could easily put 6s in those, I don't know, that's not quite right, but maybe 6 is slightly more difficult. But if you could find 6 cells where you could put 6 in, then there'd be 8 circles left. And say one of them had a 4 in, then 4 of them would have a 4 in. Then there'd be 4 circles left. There'd have to be 3 3s and a 1. Basically, you can add up the unique digits in circles and get to 14. And that is how it must work. And one of them is clearly quite high, although, no, this one can't be 5, because 5 only has one possible neighbour. So there is a high digit that is at least 6. And that means, can there possibly be 2 high digits in the circles? If there are 14 circles, you could have 6 and 5. I suppose then you could have a 3 or 1 and 2. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking about the circles. Maybe I should keep going with the pencil marking. Let's do that first. Okay, this has two neighbours that see each other, and it can't be 2, so that's 0 or 1. This is 0, 1 or 2, but it can't be 1. This one sees a 2, but this could be 3 surrounded by 2 8s. This one could be any low digit. I think, honestly, I think this is worth doing, so we'll see if I'm right. Meanwhile, my mind might just gestate over this question of what the circles contain, because I think that might be important too, and that I might not really have plumbed the depths of how we go about it. Ah, okay, no, yes, right. My mind did exactly what I wanted it to do, and while I was trying to think about the individual pencil marking, my mind got on with thinking about the circles, which is very kind of it. Now, what did it come up with? It came up with the fact that these two circles can't be different numbers. Ah, wait. No, okay, they can't be different numbers. And I'll explain why now. That is because if they were both high and different numbers, in these two positions, they each have neighbours that see each other, and therefore neither of them can be a 5. Therefore, to be different numbers, they'd be at least 6 and 7. That's 13. That would account for 13 of the 14 in the circles and would only leave room for a single 1. And you can see that in box 3 there are 3 circles, so there have to be 3 different digits. They would have to be 6, 7 and 1. But the problem would then arise because, say, in column 5, if you tried to put 6, 7, 1 in the circles, they would clash with 6 and 1. So these two can't be separate digits. They have to be the same digit repeating in the circles. The same high digit repeating in the circles. Now what I'd like to do, and it is at least 6, this high digit, and therefore the other digits in the circles, of which there are at least 3, add up to 8. And this is the same high digit that is 6, 7 or 8. How am I going to use that? I thought that was going to be helpful. I'm not sure. I think it would be very hard for there to be 4 different digits in circles. Yes. Yes, these 3 are in the central column and they can't be 0, 1 or 6. Ah, no, what this might do is rule it out the other way. What I'm talking about is this might prevent us restricting our numbers of digits in circles to just 3. Because one of them's got to be high, at least 7. And then the other 2 are going to have to be low. Or 5 at the worst. So 7, 5, 2 might work. Ah, okay, there's also a limitation. 8 is not possible. Right, 8 is not possible as a repeating digit. First of all, it's worth seeing how many of the digits, how many of the boxes have circles. And you can see box 9 doesn't, the other 8 do. So that maximizes the largest number that can be in a circle as an 8. If you had 9, oh sorry, we don't have 9 in this puzzle. Okay, never mind about that. Anyway, the point I was getting to is you can do the same for rows and columns. When you do it for rows, you see that there are only 7 rows in this puzzle with circles in. If 8 was in a circle, there would have to be 8 different 8s in different rows. There are the 7. But therefore either row 5 or row 2 would have to have a circled 8, and they clearly don't. So 8 is not possible. So there's either a 7 or 6 amongst the circled digits and not both. and the other 2 or 3 add up to 8 or 7. I just feel that there's probably something going on that gets us closer to what they are, but I don't know. So, 6 and 7. Now that we've taken 8 out, we can't have a 3 here. 6 and 7 can only sit next to 0, 1 and 2. That one can't be a 1. So we've got a 0, 1, 2 triple here. Now, this circle can't be the repeating high digit, 6 or 7, and it can't be 0, 1 or 2. So that's at least 3. In fact, it is 3, 4 or 5. And that digit is in a circle. This is a high digit that touches at least 0 and 1. So that's 7 or 8. I should just carry on with the pencil marking. This is 6, 7 or 8 because it has neighbours that see each other. This could be anything low. This can be anything low. Now, this digit, we haven't quite established that it couldn't be different from this. And the way I'm seeing that is if this was a 5 and that was a 6, the yellow digit, I think we could still make this puzzle work. So that may not be the key digit. This one sees 3 different digits in its box. So now that can only be 7 or 8, and we've got a pair in the row. That digit ends up being 3, 4 or 5. I'd love to rule out 3 from there, or indeed rule it in. If I could rule out 3, that's a 0, 1 pair and that's a 2. If I can rule 3 in, those are both 8s. It's tricky, I don't know. Let's try this one. This is, well, 5, 6, 7 or 8, so's that. I'm not really getting much out of those. This can't be a 5 because it's next to 1. This is perfect, isn't it? That's a 7, 8 pair. There's 7, 8 pairs all over the shop now. But that one looks down at this cell, which is now 5 or 6. This now is 0 or 1. That's a pair in the row. I hope I'm doing the right thing with this set of 0 to 8 and green lines. I'm reasonably confident I am so far, but it could all go pear-shaped. Now, I could start colouring 7s and 8s against each other, and look, I'm doing it. So that can be a green one, and that's a green one, and these are red ones. And they're different, so that's a red one. Oh, goodness. Okay, that didn't go anywhere. I'm going to undo it because the colour is a bit unsightly. Let me just figure this out. I think I'm so close to getting cracked here. But I don't know actually whether to focus on the German whispers or the circles. Maybe it's the circles. Let's think again. We've got either a 6 or a 7. Okay, if it was a 7, we'd have to put 1 in every row. And the one in row 3 would have to be there. Maybe we can get further that way actually. Right, let's carry on with this. If there's a 7, there's 1 in every row. The one in row 5, not in a circle actually. Sorry, there's one, what I meant is if it's a 7, there's 1 in every row with circles that's in a circle. But also, this would become 7, and then that would become 7, and they're in the rows without circles. So we're really getting an idea of where these 7s would go very quickly. And perhaps unsurprisingly it works. That could be a set of 7s. Right, if this was a 6, and that was a 6 as well, because we've worked out they have to be the same. Then we need 6 6s in the 7 rows with circles, in the 8 boxes, in the 8 columns with 6s. I was just wondering if that would yield us something. Given that we've got a 6 here. There'd be no 6 in this column. I just don't know. Maybe it would be the best time spent to try and limit the number of circle digits to 3, but I don't quite know how to do that. Sorry, if I'm missing something very obvious, especially if it's Sudoku, well, I feel bad, but I don't know what it is, so I can't fully apologise for that yet until I understand what I'm looking at. I've got that 7-8 pair in the middle row. How about these that also can't be 0 and 6? I do wonder if the fact that 7s could be made to work means these are 7s. But that's just speculating about construction rather than about solving this. Okay, come on, Mark, figure it out. What have we got to go on? 0 is in one of those 2 cells. 0, by the way, can never be a circle digit because that would immediately be telling a lie about how many circle digits in the puzzle were 0. Which is quite amusing in a way. Maybe I haven't used the colours enough. Is there somewhere where we've already got 3 blues or 3 oranges? Sorry, 4 blues or 4 oranges in a row, column or box. Okay, these are from 3, 4 and 5 and they're both in circles. Right, that's important. They're both in circles, they're both different because they're in the same box. And therefore they're adding to the 6 or 7 we have here in terms of coming to the number of 14. So for these to be a 7, this would have to be a 3-4 pair. We would only have 7, 3 and 4 in circles. That's possible still. If these are 6s, these might be a 5-3 pair and we only have 6-5-3 in circles, or they could be a 4-3 pair and somewhere there's a 1 in a circle. But the fact that we've learned is we're going to have 2 of these. Okay, the only things we can have in circles then are this big digit, which is 6 or 7, these 2 digits, which are 3, 4, 5, and maybe a 1, 1, 1 somewhere. And therefore these 2 digits, which can't be 1, are, one of them is one of these instances, and one of them is that. Now why can't I use that better as a piece of information? I'm getting closer now, getting closer to understanding what to do. Oh, hang it all. One of these digits is a 2. And it's sitting next to a yellow on the green line. So yellow has to be 7 by the rule. And now we have to have 7 and 3 and 4 in the circles. And it's very obvious. And I know you've been shouting that for a while. It's because one of those 3 has to be a 2 by Sudoku. And whichever one it is, one of these is going to be a 7. We established long ago both of them were 7s, and now we can just get on with filling in digits, which is quite an exciting phase of the puzzle for me. That's an 8. Right, we get quite a few there. Now, that's an 8. We get more. This one is not a 7. This one is not a 3, because 3 cannot be 7, even with this rule. So that's not a 2. So one of these 2 is a 2. 7 there, not sure what to do. We've got a 7 in that position. Oh, we've got to put 7 7s in circles, of course. So the 7 in row 1 has to be there. The 7 in a circle in row 3 has to be there. This is a good, easy way of doing it. The 7 in row 6 in a circle has to be there. The 1 in row 7 has to be there. There are the 7 7s in circles. There's only, no, all the 7s are now in the grid. Good. And this is 3 or 4 because it's only 3s and 4s in circles. So that's 3 or 4. And that is, and that is, and that is, obviously. and 3 of them are 3s, and 4 of them are 4s. And the other digits in this column are 5 and 8. And that's now a 6, and that's a 5. And on the Whisper, that doesn't do anything. This does, though. 5 has to be next to 0. 1 there. This isn't 5 or 7 or 8. It's 6 by Sudoku now. Oh, there's lots going on here. So let's do this the easy way, which people always think Cracking the Cryptic does things the hard way. It's often very true, but it's not deliberate, I promise. 1, 2, or 5. Some people honestly think we're just clickbaiting them by doing it the harder way. It's only because we don't see things sometimes. And that's because we're human. Now, 6 can't be next to 2, so that's a 1, 0. That must be a 3 now. So instead of getting the 3 first and proving those 2 as 8s, it happened the other way around. This is 0 or 2. Both will work on the Whisper. This one is not 0. 1, 6 would work, and that would be a 0. That's quite likely. Okay. It's much harder for me to work with these numbers rather than 1 to 9, I have to say. I'm just not used to juggling this set of numbers around in my head anymore. That can't be a 1. That's 2 or 5. We've got a 0 in one of those cells. We've got 7, 6 in one of these 3. I'm just trying to do Sudoku. Oh, there was that 0, 1, 2 group, and 7, 8. Everything else is 3, 4, 5, or 6 in the column. How about these other little Whispers? Oh yes, this one is, again, 0, 1 or 2. That's nearly a triple in the box. We've got a 3, 4 pair, making this one a 6. That makes this Whisper digit an 8. And this is low, 1 or 3. 3's no, not 3, 5. 5 has to be placed. No, that was wrong bench marking. This is a 5. This can't be 3 because we've got the 3, 4 pair. That's better. Yeah, I really am not used to this set of digits. That's the problem there. Now, a 5 there means one of these is a 5, not the middle one. One of those 2, one of these 3. I mustn't forget the circles, and that 3 of them are 3s and 4 of them are 4s. There's 1 each in that row, 1 each in that row. Don't know how to use that. We've got a 0 in one of those. Don't know what to do with that either. 7, 8, 5, 6. 0. Okay, this Whisper. Oh, look, this can't be high. It sees 5, 6, 8, and 7. It also sees 0, so that's low, and this is high. And since it can't be 5, by the Whisper rule, it's 8, and that's 0. That was a helpful method, and that's 8 now. How are 8s doing? All but 1, which goes up in the corner. Excellent. One of these 3s is 0. Ah, the 0 in row 2 seems to have to be right here by Sudoku. That's handy. How are zeros going? We've got 6 of them done. 7, 8. I can't work out the rest. I don't think I can use these digits on the Whisper anymore. Basically, the Sudoku will resolve them. We need a 5 in row 1, somewhere there. We've already got a 3, 4 pair in the circles. 8, 5, 3, 4, 7, 7, 8, 6, 5 in box 7 is in one of those 2. 5 in box 9 is in one of those 3. So this is 3 or 4, forming a pair with that. And now 5 is here in the corner. And all I know is that 5's in one of those 2, 5's in one of those 2. I don't think I can finish 5's first. I'm going to have to do something else. 8, 0, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8. I might start having to colour, In fact, let's get rid of all the colours I've done so far, because I don't need them anymore. Let us instead colour the 3s and 4s, perhaps. Let's have yellow and red 3s and 4s. So that's red, that's red, that's yellow, that's red, that's yellow. See, this is quite interesting, because this is telling me, oh, that's red. Okay, I really didn't need to do it that way, but it's quite quick to establish that all the yellows are 4s and all the reds are 3s. Good, that's just Sudoku, and I wasn't doing it the easy way. 3 there, not here. 3 there. 3s must be finished if I put one more in there. Thank you, red. Yellow and 4s. So that's now a 4. Have we got the right number of circles? Yes, there we go, 4 yellow 4s, and we've had 3 3s. So there, all the circles are done. 04873, these are from 126. 087653. That's 1, no, that is a naked 4. Naked digits much harder to see with this set of numbers. There's another one, that's a 0. Proving the point. 1 and 6 there. 2 and 5 in this column to go. 1, 5, 6 in this row. That's 5 or 6, that's 1 or 6. The whispers are nearly all done. They're done as far as they can be, and the circles are done, so it really is just Sudoku from here on in. 81730. That can't be a 0, so the 0 in the box is there. That's going to fix this final column in total. They don't have a 1, so that's the 1 in the bottom row. That's a 2 now. This is a 4 to finish the row. Good, that was a decent start. We've got a 2, 5 at the beginning of this row. Let's get rid of the corner marks there. Oh, 1, 6 are resolved now. They've probably been resolved for a while. That's a 2. That's a 1. 2 and 5 up here. 8307. 4 we need, and 1 and 6, and we know the order of those. So now I'm just finishing off definitely. 0, 6, 3. We've got a 2, 5 pair, so that's a 4. 0 and 6 in the row. Do hope I haven't made any silly, fatuous mistakes that are going to mean I don't get a tick at the end of this puzzle. 1, 6, that's a 5. That's a 2, that's a 6. Hippo Birdie 2 U's. Blobs, excellent puzzle. And there we are, just under half an hour with a 10 or 11 minute intro. It's a slightly longer than average video for me, but an absolute pleasure. And we really hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much. Do subscribe if you didn't already, or like the videos. We don't mention that often. It does help us with the algorithm if you do that. And we're very grateful for your support as ever. And enjoy the 600k pack that is free in Patreon. As it is, bye for now.